ABC News headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. The regular White House briefing was underway this afternoon, and Press Secretary Robert Gibbs was insisting that the president had not received any word from Supreme Court Associate Justice David Souter about whether he was retiring. And then a person who should know better stepped in.
I'm tired of Gibbs screwing this thing up. You know, there's a job to do, you got to do it yourself. I just got off the telephone with Justice Souter. And so I would like to say a few words about his decision to retire from the Supreme Court. Throughout his 2 decades on the Supreme Court, Justice Souter has shown what it means to be a fair-minded and independent judge. He came to the bench with no particular ideology. He never sought to promote a political agenda.
And so there will be a vacancy. George W. Bush didn't have a Supreme Court appointment until his second term. Barack Obama has one almost right away. And so we begin with our legal correspondent, Jan Crawford Greenberg. Jan?
Well, Charlie, Justice Souter could be the first of several justices to retire over the next few years, giving President Obama a real chance to put his own stamp on this court.
The reclusive justice drove himself to work today, knowing that after almost 19 years on the court, this would be his last. Souter for years has told friends he did not like Washington and wanted to return home to his beloved New Hampshire cabin. In a recent talk, he hinted he was tired of the job.
I find the workload of what I do sufficiently great that when the term of court starts, I undergo a sort of annual intellectual lobotomy.
He wrote a bare-bones resignation letter to the president this afternoon, saying simply he would step down this summer. When George H.W. Bush nominated Souter, he was a stealth candidate, a blank slate unknown outside his home state. Republicans thought he was a solid conservative who would be hard for Democrats to oppose.
Judge Souter, I believe with all my heart, will prove a most worthy member of the court.
Liberals were terrified. Women's groups opposed his nomination, believing he would vote to overturn Roe v. Wade. But Souter was a surprise, and to conservatives, a terrible presidential mistake. On every social issue, abortion, affirmative action, the death penalty, and religion, Souter provided a decisive fifth vote with liberals. Perhaps his greatest legacy is that the Republican nominee kept the court from turning to the right. By waiting for a Democrat to win the White House, his retirement keeps the seat safe for liberals for a generation. President Obama, a former constitutional law professor, already is reviewing candidates.
I will seek someone who understands that justice isn't about some abstract legal theory or footnote in a casebook. It is also about how our laws affect the daily realities of people's lives, whether they can make a living and care for their families, whether they feel safe in their homes and welcome in their own nation.
Speculation centers on women. Highly regarded federal judge Diane Wood, former Harvard Law School dean and Solicitor General Elena Kagan, and federal appeals court judge Sonia Sotomayor, who also would be the first Hispanic justice.
Now, conservatives are already calling those prospects radical, but with a solid majority in the Senate of Democrats, President Obama could well have a free rein. Charlie?
Jan Crawford Greenberg, our reporter at the Supreme Court, thanks to you. And Jake Tapper, our White House correspondent, and George Stephanopoulos, the host of This Week, joining us now. Jake, I was interested when you told me today that the president has been preparing for this possibility of having a Supreme Court nomination for quite some time.
That's right. The Obama administration has been preparing for this since before there was an Obama administration. Shortly after Election Day, they convened a working group headed by the man who is now the head White House counsel, Greg Craig. They started going through lists and calling names. In December, then President-elect Obama was suggesting names for Supreme Court justices. They expected a vacancy this year. The process, of course, got even more intense after Inauguration Day.
And did they expect it would be a Souter stepping down?
Well, on the campaign trail, President Obama would talk about Justice Stevens since he is in his late 80s. I don't know that they expected early on that it would be Souter, but there are inklings that White House officials did know that the Souter resignation was going to come this year.
George, we've had some rather titanic fights over Supreme Court nominations in recent years, but as Jan pointed out, the president has now significant majorities in the House and an even more significant majority with the specter change of parties in the Senate. So will it be as bruising a battle this time, or do they expect better smoother sailing, I should say.
Well, they do have the votes, Charlie, that's right. But this is always a big fight. Of course, it does depend in part on who President Obama picks. Those three possible picks that Jan showed that conservatives already labeled as radical, one thing that may cut against huge Republican opposition, though, is the fact that Republicans have already voted to elevate judges like Sonia Sotomayor and Diane Wood to the appeals court. They've already voted once for these judges. Now, it's not for the Supreme Court, but it's a little bit harder to reverse that vote once you've made one.
Jake, what has the White House said about timing in all this?
Well, they think that they're going to be able to have the justice, whomever he or she may be, confirmed and in robes by the first Monday in October when the new session begins. That would mean, of course, that they would have to have a candidate introduced sometime, probably in June, in order for the hearings to begin, because in August, of course, the Senate is out of session.
And George, let's come back to names. Jan ran through some, all women, as she pointed out. Any other names that you hear bandied about, or is it the suspicion is he will pick a woman?
I think the working assumption inside the White House, Charlie, is that President Obama will pick a woman. They are reviewing men as well, but the assumption is that the president will pick a woman. One other note on timing, the president wants this to be done before the August recess, but there's a little bit of uncertainty in the Senate, in part because Senator Specter has become a Democrat. He's no longer the ranking Republican on the Judiciary Committee. There will be a new ranking Republican, new staff, and that could complicate the president's efforts to get this done quickly.
All right, George Stephanopoulos and Jake Tapper, thanks to both of you. And a reminder that George's guests on Sunday will be the chairman and a senior Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee. And that, as George mentioned, is the committee that will hold hearings on whomever President Obama will nominate. Next, we turn to the flu outbreak. It continues to spread. 363 cases have been confirmed in 11 countries. And signs of concern? A United Airlines flight from Munich to Washington with 259 passengers on board was diverted to Boston today after a passenger complained of a runny nose. Many churches this weekend will change the way communion is administered. And demand for drugs is up, way up. Here's John McKenzie.
This plane was supposed to land in Washington, D.C., but there it sat this afternoon at the Boston airport. The flight from Germany diverted because a 53-year-old woman showed symptoms of the flu. This epidemic keeping the country on edge, forcing the president again today to call for calm.
We will take every single step that's necessary to make sure that the American people are safe.
The latest count shows this flu now in 8 more states than yesterday, a total of 19. There are at least 141 confirmed cases. The government said today it's buying 13 million more courses of antiviral drugs, Tamiflu and Relenza.
We don't know whether we're going to need those or not, but we wanted to be ready.
Many Americans are taking the same approach. U.S. prescriptions for antiviral flu medications soared 900% this week.
Everyone is asking questions. Obviously, the stress level is extremely high right now.
A Harvard survey out today finds 46% of Americans are now concerned about catching swine flu in the next year.
Everyone's taking precautions.
We're a little concerned and we are aware.
I don't want to catch it. That's my biggest fear.
Microbiologist Peter Palese, one of hundreds studying the genetic makeup of this new virus, says it does not look all that threatening.
This swine virus is very similar to regular influenza viruses which have been around last year and also this year.
While the virus could still change at any time, it does not have the genetic makeup of the much-feared 1918 pandemic virus. Because no one knows how many deaths it likely will cause, researchers are racing to develop a vaccine, which, if all goes smoothly, could be available by the end of the year. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Our next story is from Cuba, and a mixed message from former Cuban President Fidel Castro, who was seen in a photo first obtained by ABC News today, taken with a congressional delegation last month. And Castro is sporting lapel pins with side-by-side U.S. and Cuban flags, perhaps a sign of thawing relations. But today, in a May Day editorial, Castro was strident, writing that the adversary, that's the U.S., should not have any illusion that Cuba will give up. There was a moving moment at the State Department in Washington today. Secretary Hillary Clinton was speaking at a ceremony honoring diplomats who died overseas. And when she came to speak of Brian Atkins, a Foreign Service officer just 25 years old, who was murdered in Ethiopia earlier this year, she got quite emotional.
Brian Atkins was a smart, talented, and generous young man. everything that his country looks for in a Foreign Service officer. Wherever he went, he made an impression, and he made a difference. When he arrived at Addis Ababa, he distinguished himself in a short time as a remarkable junior officer. Brian demonstrated an exceptional work ethic and impressive intellectual skills, while at the same time treating each individual with compassion and dignity. Let me say to the members of Brian's family who are here today, his parents and grandparents, his brother and sister and brother-in-law, and his aunts, how deeply sorry we are for your loss.
A reminder, as the Secretary said, that Foreign Service officers put their lives on the line every day. Well, still ahead on World News, are buyers ready for a Chrysler Fiat marriage? The cars to come when an American icon gets a taste of Italy. The world of figure skating, musical, magical, but macho? The effort to toughen up the sport. And a woman with a unique way of showing children how they can help change lives. She's our Person of the Week.
This is World News with Charles Gibson. Brought to you by Red Lobster.
In the Mediterranean, fresh ingredients and seafood are on tables every day. At Red Lobster, we're bringing new entrees inspired by the Mediterranean to your table. Try new wood-grilled lobster and tender jumbo shrimp with a garlic cream sauce. Or new Tuscan herb shrimp and chicken, wood-grilled and brushed with a blend of basil, olive oil, and white wine. Taste the flavors of the Mediterranean for a limited time at Red Lobster.
So long, ooziness.
And your paste can feel oozy. Yuck! But C-Bond adhesive wafers have no paste to use.
Give C-Bond a try.
Bye-bye, ooze. Hello, C-Bond.
Can't stop weeding? Then apply Preen for gardens. In just one application, Preen prevents weeds for 3 months. Stop weeds with Preen. Preen works, so you don't have to.
I've had asthma forever.
I've had asthma for as long as I can remember.
10 years. I used to wonder why my medicine wouldn't help prevent
my symptoms from coming back.
I just figured it couldn't get any better.
And then I found out something I didn't know.
I found out there are 2 main causes of asthma symptoms. Airway constriction you feel, and inflammation you may not.
Most medicines don't treat both.
So, my doctor prescribed Advair. Advair treats both main causes to help prevent symptoms in the first place.
Advair contains salmeterol. Salmeterol may increase the chance of asthma-related death, so Advair is not for asthma that's well controlled on another controller medicine. Advair will not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. Talk to your doctor about the risks and benefits of Advair. If you take Advair, see your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
If you're still having symptoms, ask your doctor how to help prevent them with Advair.
Find out how to get your first full prescription free at Advair.com.
Advair. Now you know.
The first bankruptcy court hearing was held for Chrysler today, and new sales numbers show just how tough the road ahead is going to be. Chrysler sales dropped 48% last month compared to a year ago, while General Motors and Ford saw declines of more than 30%. A key part of Chrysler's restructuring plan, of course, involves its partnership with the Italian carmaker Fiat. What kind of cars will that bring to Chrysler showrooms? Here's Chris Bury.
This red, white, and blue Chrysler dealership and thousands like it are about to get an Italian accent. How's your Italian?
Buongiorno, or spaghetti. All I know.
Michigan Chrysler dealer Don Malash, like the salesman he is, bubbles with enthusiasm about adding Fiats to his lineup of Jeeps and minivans.
The fuel economy is great on these cars. The quality, from what we hear, is fantastic on the cars. All my salesmen are excited about it.
Last month, Chrysler showed off the Fiat to go on sale here within 2 years. The tiny 500 or Cinquecento, an updated classic that's selling gangbusters in Europe.
The last time Fiat sold in this country, they bombed. So unreliable back then, the joke became Fiat stood for Fix It Again, Tony.
Ready to launch the 124.
They arrived with a splash in the late 70s, only to close up shop faster than you can say arrivederci.
They fell apart. They were far worse than anything else you could buy at that time. That's no longer the case. Fiats are actually reasonably reliable now.
The president himself has made a point of praising Fiat's fuel-efficient technology. Others aren't so sure.
The reality is that Fiats are just small. They don't have any technology different than what is on the road today in the U.S.
Fiat's charismatic CEO, Sergio Marchionne, will be salesman-in-chief of the new company.
This guy's a car guy. He's a little Lee Iacocca.
Of course, Chrysler has hooked up with a foreigner before, a German.
Didn't work. Okay, this is gonna work.
This time, the Italians are promising a smoother marriage, that Americans will fall in love with those cute little Cinquecentos. Chris Bury, ABC News, Lake Orion, Michigan.
And that brings us to our question of the day. If Chrysler and Fiat actually start making cars together, would you be inclined to buy one? You can share your answer at the World Newser at abcnews.com. And coming up, drama on ice. Sparks fly over a move to make figure skating a bit more macho.
She's losing her battle against nasal allergies, but we found a way to fight it.
Omneris to the nose!
Omneris works differently than many other allergy medications. Omneris fights nasal allergy symptoms that occur from allergic inflammation. Relieve those symptoms with Omneris. Side effects may include headache, nosebleed, and sore throat. Mission accomplished. Oh, incoming! Ask your doctor about Omneris. In the battle against nasal allergy symptoms, Omneris combats the cause.
This is the AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan card. You know what's great about this card? Wherever you go, nationwide, your coverage travels with you. And that's just one of the many reasons you need the card you can trust. Because with AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, you can apply year-round, talk with personal health insurance advisors, and so much more. If you're turning 65 or older, or you've already enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan, call for this free information kit and Medicare guide. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans exclusively endorsed by AARP. These plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, help cover some of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare alone. This could save you thousands of dollars. Want your choice of doctors or hospitals, virtually no claim forms, and no referrals needed to see a specialist? Call for your free kit. Yep, this is one great card.
Introducing Imodium Multi-Symptom Relief. It combines two powerful medicines for fast relief of your diarrhea symptoms, so you can get back out there. Imodium. Get back out there.
1-800-Flowers.com is on a mission to celebrate all moms this Mother's Day. So give something special to your mom and all the other moms you know. Because every mom counts.
Give the Mother's Embrace or choose one of 30 gifts under $30 from our Every Mom Counts collection.
Call or click 1-800-Flowers.com today.
And in business, the stock market
Excedrin PM relieves pain fast, plus a sleep aid to help you fall fast asleep. Excedrin. What ache?
The Food and Drug Administration today warned people to immediately stop using a popular over-the-counter weight loss supplement. The FDA says Hydroxycut has been linked to serious cases of liver damage, including liver failure and at least one death. The company that makes Hydroxycut sold 9 million packages last year and is now recalling Hydroxycut as it's sold in 14 different forms. A line of severe storms is causing heavy flooding across parts of the Midwest. In northeast Oklahoma, areas around Tulsa got 7 inches of rain in less than 6 hours today, flooding homes, closing roads, stranding drivers, and forcing emergency rescues. More heavy rain is expected to hit the Midwest over the weekend. Next, we turn to the world of sports and a competition where image is almost as important as winning. Plenty of sports feature macho athletes engaged in heavy competition. The image of figure skating, however, is different, and there's a move to toughen things up. Neil Karlinski is in Vancouver, Canada, host of the 2010 Winter Games.
On a sparkling spring day in Vancouver, long before the torches even lit, one of the most popular Winter Olympic sports is already spinning with controversy. Canada says figure skating needs to get macho.
They've got to really showcase what male skating is about. Masculinity, strength, and power.
Canadian figure skating hero Elvis Stoyko and skating officials say it's time to throw away the frilly, sequin-clad outfits that have been mocked in movies like Blades of Glory.
The Red Hot Love.
And have male skaters emphasize how difficult the sport is, how grueling, even dangerous. Ahead of the 2010 Olympics, Skate Canada, the sport's governing body, is anxious to boost figure skating's image, and with it, television ratings, which have been sagging in Canada. Officials are talking a lot about masculinity and drawing in the hockey crowd, and that is where the problems begin.
It's not that the men's skating has to totally obliterate the gay guys that are skating or the gay public that's watching it. So it's trying to find a balance to male skating.
Gay advocacy groups are being flooded with complaints.
If figure skating wants to draw in hockey fans, they should put two figure skaters on the ice at the same time and let them body check each other and punch each other.
Very nice.
The skaters are caught in the middle.
I support it. In some ways I don't, because the fact that maybe they're trying to take away from the beauty of the sport.
Even if male figure skating doesn't change a thing, some see the fact that it's being talked about this early as a victory for one of the biggest contests, ratings. Neil Karlinski, ABC News, Vancouver, British Columbia.
And if heights make you nervous, this next story is not for you. The owners of Chicago's Sears Tower are opening a new attraction next month. It's a glass-bottomed sky deck on the 103rd floor. It's a 4-foot ledge offering heart-stopping views straight down. And separating you from the ground far, far below, not enough for me. Up next, taking the seed of an idea and helping children change the world, our Person of the Week.
Hey, are you treating your rheumatoid arthritis but still having trouble with everyday things? Could Orencia help you? Talk to your doctor. I did. Listen for details about the Orencia Promise Program and this free copay card.
Can you open this? Fasten this? Oh, yes, I can. Orencia. It's an RA treatment that's proven to make a difference for many patients, including those who weren't helped enough by other treatments, relieving the symptoms of RA and controlling the advance of joint damage.
Do not take Orencia with another biologic medicine for RA due to an increased risk of serious infection. Orencia can cause serious side effects, including serious infections. Certain cancers have been reported. Tell your doctor if you are prone to or have any infection like an open sore or the flu. If you have a history of COPD, a chronic lung disease, Orencia may worsen your COPD.
Thousands of RA patients have experienced Orencia. What about you? Go to Orencia.com or call 1-800-ORENCIA for more about Orencia and the Promise Program for new Orencia patients covered by private insurance. We'll pay your Orencia copay for 6 months. If you're not satisfied after 6 months, we'll pay your first copay of another RA medicine. Go online for the Orencia Promise Program. Talk to your rheumatologist. See if you can say, oh, yes, I can.
What's that smell? Take control of trash odors with Glad Odor Shield. Special technology embedded in the whole bag neutralizes odors. Your kitchen stays fresh. Glad Odor Shield. What smell? Now available in lemon scent.
Decisions. Which Beneful prepared meal tonight? Roasted chicken recipe, savory rice and lamb stew. You're right, tonight is a beef stew kind of night.
Beneful prepared meals. Another healthful, flavorful Beneful.
Announcing the Ford Advantage Plan, a better plan to get you into a new, quality-built Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury. Today, while others say there's no credit available, Ford Credit says there is. Financing as low as 0% APR. Check for pre-approval now at Ford.com. And with the Ford Advantage, if you lose your paycheck, we'll make your payments for up to 12 months. Quality, credit, and payment protection. That's the Ford Advantage Plan. Visit your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Allergies can make them miss out. Children's Benadryl effectively relieves your child's allergy symptoms. It works when they need it most. Children's Benadryl. Can't pause life.
Sunday, it's all new.
Every night for 30 days.
You make it quick.
Love and marriage.
Marry me.
Can sometimes turn really ugly.
I'm doing whatever needs to be done.
ABC's Desperate Housewives. All new Sunday, 9, 8 Central on ABC.
Sunday, the president's supreme choice. How hot will it get for his first Supreme Court nominee? Senators Leahy and Hatch face George. Plus, the latest on the deadly swine flu. And our Powerhouse Roundtable takes on the Spectre Switch. Sunday, And go to abcnews.com. Click this week to get George's take on what's next for the Supreme Court.
Finally tonight, our Person of the Week. For young children, lessons can come from so many places. A good book, an engaging website, an enthusiastic teacher. Well, now one author has found a way to combine them all.
I want to ask if anyone here knows anything about Africa.
I wanted to inspire kids to even know at their age they could take a step that could have repercussions for their community, their town, and for others.
Katie Smith Milway has inspired thousands of students through a children's book she wrote called One Hen.
This is the hen that Kojo buys with the loan he got.
It's about a boy from Ghana who gets a small loan and parlays that into a big business.
Eggs to eat, and if he is lucky, eggs he can sell to buy more hens.
Providing food for his family, tuition for school, and ultimately loans for other entrepreneurs. The book is really about microfinance, making small loans to budding entrepreneurs in developing countries. Now, that's not usually the stuff of children's books, but Katie believed kids would get it.
Anyone who'd run a lemonade stand could identify with setting up a small business and how that helps you to earn some money, and with that money you can either make more lemonade or invest in something that you want.
Come on, come on, come on.
One Hen is also an interactive website
that let kids play games, earn beads, and donate their beads in a virtual market.
We just earned 106.
To trigger real loans to Africa.
In fact, One Hen has partnered with 2 microfinance organizations that turn those virtual beads into actual dollars, providing $50,000 in loans so far this year. Vivian Adama received one of those loans and used it to expand her school. The book and website are now being used in schools across North America.
I've learned that there's other people in the world that need help.
Most schools want kids to make a difference. They want kids to give back to their communities. And this is a way to weave that notion into the subjects they've got to learn anyway: reading, math, social studies.
The John F. Kennedy Elementary School in Massachusetts, for example, has developed a 4th grade curriculum around One Hen. And for one project, the principal lent the students $75.
Wow. And how much interest did she charge you?
$7.50.
The class used the seed money to start a little jewelry making business, and it's doing quite well.
What design are you making?
So far, they've paid the principal back with interest and made $300.
Seen financial crisis in our country, and we've seen what comes of the hubris. We think we're geniuses that can create value out of thin air. Well, it turns out you can't. Turns out it's actually a good time to start learning from folks in other countries who've had to create value by creating things that people really need.
And so we choose Kate Smith Milway, whose simple idea is having profound impact. And we ought to mention that those $300 the 4th graders at Kennedy Elementary have made, they're going to donate it to people in Africa. And that is World News for this Friday. I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you had a good day. For all of us at ABC News, have a great weekend.
Tonight, why did the seemingly perfect, loving son and brother set up the murder of his own family? Could this eerie childhood video hold the clues? Tonight, the shocking revelation.
Can we stop for a second?
A murderer in the family, only on 2020.
See it, shoot it, send it. When you capture breaking news on your camera or cell phone, email it to Eyewitness News at video@myabc7.com.
I don't know, Doc. I feel all bloaty.
That's because I plumped you. I plumped you good. I injected you with salt water. So not only do you look plumper, you also weigh more. So people have to pay more. A lot of chickens have it done.
Are Foster Farms chickens pumped with salt water?
Yeah, Doc, because we want to look naturally plump.
Hey, Marcy, do these chickens look naturally plump?
Yes, very natural.
Although we could go plumper.
Say no to plumping. Foster Farms. Always natural, always fresh.
Every day's a brand new day. Every day's a brand new day. And Ross keeps bringing unbeatable savings your way.
Yes, every day, more of the latest styles and top designer brands are arriving at Ross. The same fashions that sell for a lot more at department stores and other so-called discounters are at Ross for a lot less.